Welcome in, everybody. If you're tuning in now or after live, I greatly appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. Please make sure to hit that like button before we get started. There's a lot we have to pay attention to, especially in the crypto market right now, especially in the way of manipulation. But not just that, there's a lot of optics in the market today. A lot of you might just be seeing it as a red day. Some of you might be seeing it as a bearish trend, but you might be missing out on a key fact right now of what's actually taking place. And I'm going to try to make it crystal clear here today before I get done with this live. There's just some anomalies I'm noticing on the chart, and it makes perfect sense what's going on here. And we're going to get to the bottom of it before we leave today. So I do appreciate everybody tuning in. I don't necessarily like this background. I don't know if it's kind of weird on the eyes, to be honest. So I'm just going to go back to the one I was using. I think this one just looks better. Well, I'm not waiting for all of that, so we'll do it again. There. I just think this is easier on the eyes. You're more than welcome to let me know, but this is the one that I've fallen in love with on my background, just because I think it's easier on the eyes, and I don't know, I just think it looks nice. It's a nice, relaxing view behind me. So David, welcome in. Matt, JM, good evening, and thanks for being in month ones of Tom's Army. That is so important, so important to pay it forward like that. It helps me fund what I do here because I don't accept any paid promotions, advertisements, or sponsorships of any kind. So that's more incredibly important than you know. And that's the month one badge, and I know that because it's me being abducted by aliens. Amber made that for me some time ago, and it was very nice of her, and I've been using it ever since. She made it in probably 2020 before I even started this show. But Matt, thank you as well for being in month 5 or 6 with the XRP Meteor. It's so incredibly important. Thank you so much. So what I was saying with XRP before I get into the intro, or before I timestamp this, it's very important we pay attention to the details today. And I'm going to start coming on the Sundays more doing lives. I'm very passionate about what I do, so it's not hard for me to do this. David, welcome in. But XRP, we're going to take a look when we get into this. We'll also take a look at Flare because it's pumped, as we know. We'll take a look at Solo because it's pumped. And I know a lot of people are getting their heads down on XRP and they say we're dumb for only owning XRP, but they miss out on the point that we own. If you own what I own, there's roughly 11 other assets that I own outside of XRP, which are Internet of Things or ISO related tokens. So the IoT and ISO. And then that's not even counting my precious metal holdings that I started funding since 2018. And then the commodities that I teach you all about when I do get into them. So we're in Solo, and we're also in Flare. And Flare, we're up almost 300% now. It's insane. We bought it at just under 0.009 cents. It was like 0.008 and some change. And then with Solo, we bought just around 9 cents, and we're almost up 100% on that. It's been a nice little rally there. Hector, good evening. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're having as good as a night as I am. But let me timestamp this real quick. Good evening. 9:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Sunday, February 4th, if you can believe it or not already, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. John, thank you so much for being in. The predictor is, it's either that one or the Meteors, month 5 or 6. So thank you so much for continuing to be in Tom's Army, John. That means a hell of a lot to me. I'd love to see more people in Tom's Army showing that support. CZAM, good evening. CryptoBug, hi Tom, welcome to your show. Laugh out loud, good to hear your TA. Hey, I appreciate that. I'm so glad you enjoy hearing the TA. And I promise we'll get into this. I just like to do like a little intro, and I like to, shoot the back and forth real quick to try to get everybody up to date. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and join what I can't even believe I'm saying this, the over 20,000 subscribers as of a few days ago, which it's truly remarkable that we're even at this level already. I don't know, just saying that it doesn't seem right. So thank you, everybody, for the 20,000 plus subscribers. And then make sure to hit that like button if you're coming on in here and sharing this on social media so we can help expand our audience. One day I'd like to have 6 figures in, what is it? Yeah, 6 figures in here. So just do the math. Not money. I'm talking about viewers. So I would have to have 100,000 subscribers. I think by 2028, somewhere in there, something's going to flip. somewhere in between now and then, and we're going to end up, it's got to get into a bull market, though, and everybody's going to see. But XRP down 0.5%. Okay, well, that's great that we're right at 50 cents. But how did we get here? So the DXY started today, and we know how we ended last week. I talked about how the DXY was bullish, at least for this next move. We don't know. Well, we do have a targeted move where we think it's going to go. We targeted it out on a breakout, as you can see. We did the breakdown just in case so that we could satisfy the need, because you never know. It could have come down, but that would have been 102.04. But we've been targeting this final move to the top side, and it's at 104.95. So if it comes up to 104.95 and plays this true and then breaks down, this would give crypto this one last dip that I keep talking about. And for anybody who was doing the leverage with Casper, as you know, we got out of it yesterday, not for much profit. It was at 357, or 2 days ago. No, it was yesterday. And the only reason we did is because it looked like we could get that final hit of support. It never came up as high as I wanted. Now I know I can buy it cheaper if it does come down. I did make like $95 on it. Nothing major, but now I have 95 extra dollars in the portfolio. But that was not my goal. But I'm also not dumb. I'm not going to play it through when the weekly candle was closed today. And we talked about it if anybody was here Friday and yesterday. So hopefully you're paying attention so that you can see on the rebound here. I'm going to go over Casper very clearly tonight again. But the US dollar, with this about to bounce up here, it gives all the reason in the world for crypto to have one more retracement. Same thing with precious metals. As you see, gold. Gold's at 2,037, down about $1.73 per ounce. But this is at a resistance line instead of support. And it seems like to me that we would benefit from going down. Yes, it can go up, but it really does seem like it should benefit from going down. Could it come up and retest initially to start the week? Maybe. But I really think this needs to come down a little bit more. Just that's me. It doesn't mean it has to, but it's been riding this line of holy shit for too long. So just pay attention to all of this. So it could mean commodities are going to be off to a rough start to start the week. Total crypto market cap is also another way you try to figure out what's going on with the crypto market to get the XRP, what the heck's going on. Some people think all I do is XRP because they only watch, a couple seconds of what I do. The truth is I cover every single thing you see on here to a T. Not just those, these, and this, and everything you see on here aside from ADA I'm invested in. Except for you can't, not the Dow Jones or DXY, but B2 Gold, I will be back in eventually. Everybody knows my positioning. I got out at you all know, I'm not going to go over it, but $3.15, and I'm waiting for that, hopefully $2.40. And then I think it was $3.05 after we tried it again, and then it reversed back down. But anyhow, that's neither here nor there. Total crypto market cap, I think we've already topped out here a little bit. So as a retracement in order, I think it is. I think it would benefit. Now, if it doesn't retrace here, that doesn't mean that it's a good thing. It means that this is just going to be done quicker. Now, it's signaling to us if we lose this 20-day, I would go into the 2-hour time frame and be like, all right, where is going on here? Looks like we're losing this a little bit. I mean, it looks like this is coming down as the DXY is going up, and I'm going to tell you why this is a good thing when we get to XRP. But it would benefit us to come down here. At least come back down here somewhere. We never retested this pattern breakout, but we don't have to come all the way down there. I don't want everybody to think, oh my God, Tom, are you telling me we got to come all the way down here? This is some ridiculous. You always get us. No, I'm saying we need to come down to here. That's it. So what does that mean for XRP if the total crypto market cap comes down to 1.42 trillion? Just something I'm asking. Maybe it doesn't have to come all the way down there. Maybe you can play the other game where it's like, hey, you know what, Tom? You play that game. I'm going to say, well, don't we have a nice support here? Fine, you got me. But doesn't it kind of meet in the same spot anyhow? So aren't we kind of just... So I choose not to go that route, but I'll keep it there for anybody who tries. And then I just like to do that because then it just stops all arguments. And then you can clearly see, I mean, we're at a breaking point here, one way or the other. It's like, this is where it's like, just get over that line. Hold on, I'll fix this but it's like, just get over this total crypto market cap. If we have any strength whatsoever, just get over this. Right? There's no reason to even mess around. Just show our strength and break over this resistance. And the fact that it's kind of stuck in here kind of says it all. So that's what we're looking at. So if you're going long here, be very friggin' careful because you're literally at the top end of a very strong downward resistance. And wouldn't it benefit us to come about? Oh boy. Whew. That's deep. 8.6% on the market cap. I think we could be in for a flash drop here at some point. I'm just saying, I think we could be in for a flash drop. But we'll get into this more. Free Toast, welcome in. CJ2 Pilot, good evening. And thank you. I think that said you were in Tom's. I mean, I'm going to wait to see that, but I'm pretty sure that showed the XRP Meteor. Unless that was somebody else, and, you know, I want to make sure. But yeah, but we're looking like something tonight. And I just seen a donation. Thank you so much. Wow, 67 people here on this Sunday evening. That's incredible. Please make sure that like button. It does help the journey. Yeah, CJ2 Pilot, don't think that didn't go unnoticed. That I seen you re-up in Tom's Army for, that's like the 6th month now. That means an incredibly a lot to me, Mr. CJ2 Pilot. Copper Vine, Crypto XRP, re-upping I've seen in month 2 in Tom's Army. Thank you so much for that. That's the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News in month 2. I seen month 1 subscribers as well up there. I need to see that as well. Lights. Thank you so much. Light Switch Tom. Thank you for being in month 1 of Tom's Army. That's incredibly amazing. And I see that's the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. There's a story to tell all the way up to the 2-year badge. And then soon the 3-year badge. There's a couple people 3 months away, roughly 2 months away from 3 years. Kevin, thank you for the $5. If you have time, can we look at Magic? Magic. Can you be more specific? Magic, Magic the Gathering, you know, Magic, like Magic, you know, should we pull up some Warlocks or the crypto? MATIC? I know, I was just, Kevin, I know, you know, I was just messing with you. I know you were talking about, I was just trying to have some fun, you know, bring a smile to everybody's face on the sea of red. But thank you for the $5 donation. We can absolutely look at MATIC, and I'm actually glad you brought up MATIC. You know why? Because I forgot about MATIC, and I'm very disappointed in myself. That was one that's supposed to be in my master plan, and, you know, I keep forgetting about MATIC because I bought so many different things when they're at their levels that I dare say, I'm not saying I missed the boat on MATIC, but I'm very disappointed one of the levels I missed because it was one of my, if you miss this, I'm going to punch you in the face. And, you know, I might have had to punch myself in the face because I missed it. I like MATIC a lot. I do. With the Polygon ID too. Oh, God. You know, I dare say I've probably got a MATIC chart through BitGet. Curious to see what it looks like today. And then we're going to go into XRP. Don't worry. I'm going to go into XRP. But I'm just curious about something real quick. Oh, wow. That was way farther back. See, God. I suck. That's how far I was supposed to watch, and if it broke down, I was, oh, God. Excuse me. But we'll see where we're at right now. So, MATIC, I'm certainly not going to do it on this chart because it's not going to be far enough back. We'll do it on Binance. Why not? For Retro Futures. Because this has been a very long, drawn-out pattern, so might as well have it down on paper here for myself just to have it in front of me again. And I used to watch this every single day. I was invested. I had some beautiful gains multiple times. And it was just, we were coming to a point. There's multiple layers here. Like, don't think this is the only thing in front of us. It's not. Even if we broke up here, that's not. There's so much stuff in our way right now as far as resistance that, you know, it's going to be interesting exactly how long this takes to play out here. Because the shorter formation, the longer formation, if this turns into a W reversal, it definitely can change the momentum of MATIC. So, but I mean, if you're looking at it logically, you don't really want to come underneath this formation. We did have a cup and handle forming, so if you want this to be successful, we're gonna have to get above here and then start holding the 97-cent area as support. Man, 97. I remember when it was back here at 75 and then it started making its way down. It hit all the way down at about 49 cents. Although it's not as bad as it was when it came back up. I think this probably still has if it comes down properly, and this is going to be like the rest of crypto, it's going to be in the oversold after when it gets down there. If it comes down to 53 cents, that would be an opportune time for MATIC. That would absolutely be an opportune time for MATIC if it came down to 53 cents. So just watch, what is this? Just watch that. But I need to go to XRP. So XRP, actually Bitcoin, is down 158 points. And Bitcoin got rejected so far at 43,505. Now, this is the broadening wedge formation. But if you just look at it when it was in the bull flag formation, you can see why this area was so crucial. If it loses this at 42,580 roughly, that means it could open the door for a drop, yes, to 40,882. But take this a step further. If it comes through there, you got 40,882. And right around there is the same area. That's 40,500. But then it could come all the way down to 39,800, maybe farther than that. But where we're at right now, it's very likely you could come down to 40,000, that 500 area at the bottom of that broadening wedge. The only thing that could stop it is if we're like, oh, well, it's using this bull flag and this was just an overextended hook here. And then it comes back up. But something tells me I don't know. It doesn't really seem like that's going to be the case. The 2 hours getting a little overextended though. These time frames are a little overextended in the smaller time frames. So just because it goes down doesn't mean it has to do it right away. We do have these small looking reversal candles. So it could come up here first to get a rejection. Or like I say, with manipulation, who knows? Maybe it just breaks out. But if we get a dump down now, it's a trap. If we dump down now, let's say 7 to 10% across the board, this is a bear trap. Take advantage of it. I don't say it often, but if we do dump down 7 to 10%, take advantage of the bear trap. There's going to be a quick rebound if it happens. And yes, that could put XRP a little bit lower than the 494 level if this happens. But look how overextended we are. So if it did happen, maybe we would have a return rally here just to clear out some of the relative strength index. But I'm looking at it from a longer time frame. We're going to try to catch that daily time frame and drop it back down a little bit. I firmly believe that somehow, some way, and I'm not saying we're going to come down here yet, the 38.6. I don't think that's the play. I think the play could be a drop down from here and we actually go to that rising channel support like we've talked about. And that's at 44 cents roughly, 443. If you see that drop, take advantage. Even if that means we have a drop from here, we come down, there's our 8 to 10%, 9.8% to 442, take advantage. If it breaks down from there, we're going to be so oversold that 38 cents could be the play, which would be ideal. But that's another 13% from there. Start layering it if that's what your plan is. But there is a play to be made somewhere here that's going to yield a net result that's going to be pretty significant. And this is the play we wanted initially, but we didn't get. Right now, you can still see we're in a descending triangle. There's no way to even look around that. You don't even have to draw it out to see it in here. But if you want to see it, I have it drawn out in the shorter time frame right here. Whoops. You can see how I drew it out here. That's why I drew out that descending triangle. That's what you're seeing, this formation back in here. So, but if that busts, oh man, it's going to be a glorious day. Look at this. We've got the relative strength index in the 4 hourly sense. That would start coming crashing through. 3 hourly is going to start crashing through. 2 hourly, 1 hourly's already started. That's what I said. The small reversal here, maybe to meet a resistance point, it wouldn't come up that far. Like it wouldn't even, you're not even talking about a run to 534 at this point. You're literally talking about in the 1 hourly, maybe coming up to 507, or maybe the 2 hourly, but it's not, there's not a whole lot here if you're talking about another push down, because you would break this descending triangle. That's the aspect. We're not saying that's going to happen 100%, but what we're saying here, or what I'm saying here, is you would take advantage if it hits that rising channel support, because even if it needs to come to 38 cents or 37.5, the actual overall formation now. You'd be in the grand formation. And that uptrend would be from 2020. If you break this one, what I'm saying is you would have a rebound at least from here that would have to come back and retest this descending triangle at about 487 or whatever, somewhere around there. Yep. There sure is. The bullish divergence. But on the daily time frame, on XRP, we're still finishing off a death cross. But on the 1-day chart, but on the daily, we're finishing off this death cross. The weekly, we have a golden cross still that's intact. It's just, you can see how it's slowly but surely breaking its way down. So this is where you have to be careful here. You know, you could start to invalidate some of this pattern, especially if you break the rising channel support. But we'll see, because to break through this support right now and we're oversold like we're going to be is going to be interesting. Because if you do, you're going to get that volatility we're speaking of. It's just at some point, if it does reverse from this support like it's already hit, then you're looking for a place somewhere up here at around 55 cents, probably to cap any upside. But if you come down here, oh, it's going to be interesting. It could end up bouncing around like this, but it would still be interesting because that play, let's say from a leverage perspective, at 442, you're looking at on a 10% or a 10x trade, like a lot of people, that's a 1x trade just to retest, and that's not even at 50. I mean, there's going to be an opportunity here. I'm just saying. There is going to be an opportunity. So, that's XRP. If we're talking Casper now, it's at 349. Julie? Yeah. Okay, I was just making sure that was you and not Tommy. Yeah. But Casper, as we know, 355 roughly we got out. Not a huge gain. What I say, Julie, the other when I sold at $95 or something like that with Casper. Isn't that what I told you? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. It was over 90, but not near 100. But I believe it was 95. And but it was the reposition. It wasn't because I didn't want to get in and or because XRP was going to present the opportunity I wanted in the beginning. But I find it easier to trade Casper because you do $1,000, at least I do, at 4x. And it's easy to keep grasp of it. The daily time frame suggesting at some point we're going to have a beautiful reversal. It's just got to go. Thanks, bro. Hey, no problem, Light Switch. I hope you I hope that told you what you needed to know about MATIC. Or for anything I've shown you. Hopefully you got what you needed. But for Casper, and we'll go back into XRP and XLM. But for Casper, I like trading it at 4x. It's no surprise. It makes it a lot easier. And plus, it caps out because it's such a small token and the pricing and yada, yada, yada. So, I'm looking at it probably to come back down here to this descending support at 346. But I would not be opposed to it coming all the way down to that 3.4 level. Not at all. Not at all. I want this to dump out, and I want these these lower time frames to catch up to the daily. If everything's caught up to the daily, and it's going to be pushing into extreme oversold after, if it does fall down like this, everything will catch up to it up to the 4 hourly, including the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then into the daily. That's when I notice with technical traders from their input, if they watch these indicators, that's when you get the true bounce. It looks fine right now, but now you have to go through the volatility where even if you're in a 4x, it'll probably be fine even if it comes through. But I still feel like you have to have this one more, hit on support. I feel like this is where you'd get that rebound springboard to allow us to. So basically what I'm trying to say here is, and this is almost across the board, yes, it looks good, but even if we thought it was going to come up there, what do they always do first? Liquidity grab. Just to get rid of those longs, right? And then they get new shorts put in, and then it would bounce up to retest, and then it would break if that's its plan. So basically, all these people are like, all right, I'm going long. It has to retest that death cross. Well, then it goes short, and they're like, yeah, all right, I'm going to go short. And then it comes up here like, what the hell? They're like, all right, fine, I'm going long. And then it comes down here like, you know what? This is all manipulated and rigged. It is, but not in the way people think. It's a trading bot. You have to learn the trading bot. So that's why I'm looking for those levels on Casper. Just very brief. HBAR, remember the rising channel is what we were looking at, and it finally broke below it. So now that it broke below it, it's on the 200-day firm. But we've talked about if it came down here, it's likely going to come try to see if 573 is its new support. And then the volatile spike, instead of going from here to here, this is how simple it is. This is why leverage traders, if they understand, they do make bank, but why so many lose money. They would have thought, hey, it came all the way down here. We're in between the channel now. So boom, 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 right? Just to break down. But instead, you're probably going to get a boom, boom. And then even if it holds, would you do something like this to break out? Or would it just go boom, 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 and then start? I mean, that's what we don't know. But it looks like if it breaks the that's if it breaks the 200-day. Otherwise, these could just be overextended grabs, liquidity grabs. As you see, there is still a lot of room, but is it more likely to do this? Or do you think we might get something like this to start forming something like this? I mean, I could see a big reversal if these do it the proper way. I could see a smaller move if they do take the up route first. It's basically what the market makers want to do. If it was me, I would take it down and then up. Just because I know that, I mean, look at XLM even. It is on the bearish side. That's another reason why I think it could happen. Now, does that mean XLM has to go all the way back down to 8.5? I'm not saying that, but it could. It could. Look where we're at in the daily. Daily has absolutely enough room to fall down there. We talked about XRP with the drop. We talked about the total crypto market cap. That's 20% on XLM if that happens. That doesn't mean it's going to happen, but that's what would happen if it breaks down.
Your dad commented twice he's watching you.
Oh, he did? Did he really? I didn't even see that. I have to pay attention. I wasn't looking at the comments. Thank you, Julie. But if it goes up 17% with XLM, then you end up testing this ascending triangle, and then you're screwed. Because then you end up breaking the relative strength, and then no one's going to buy it from a relative strength or from a technical standpoint. The technical traders aren't buying it. The institutions, that's where they buy in, is if the technical traders, everybody trades the same way. Like, I don't like the technical traders. I like just doing the patterns myself, but it shows you a certain dynamic when you start to look at things. That's why with XRP, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Oh, yeah, Dad. Hey, I didn't even notice that. Well, welcome in, Dad. It's not often I see you in here. Julie said that, so that's my dad there, Tom Spica. That's senior. The top of the three in line, with junior, and then the third, as you guys know, with my son. But, so yeah, Dad, so you get to see this now. So the descending triangle here with XRP, if it breaks below here, it'd be great. If we come to the rising channel, that pattern's gone all the way back to June of 2022. Well, if we were to break that, that's when it gets really interesting. But I think we would have that bounce like we've already talked about in the beginning if it came through there. But if we go to the all-time pattern, hold on. Let me switch charts. These are the all-time patterns. So if we go all the way back, so the first number was the rising channel from June of 2022. That supports about 443. Well, if you go back, this first one goes back to 2020. This downtrending resistance is the all-time resistance. So we came all the way back here in January of 2018, and we hit the all-time highs back here. This is back in 2018. And everybody always says, well, isn't it kind of the same pattern? Isn't the volume doing the same when it was having the run-ups? Absolutely not. You can go back here, and if you just look at the weekly time frame, and that's on December 11, 2017, when we've had the peak. January was the peak. It was the absolute peak in January. You're talking about, what is that, 802 million in the weekly in volume on that candle. And then when we start breaking up, it's pretty significant volume. You come over here and we had the peak, 453, which, But if you come into the big candles, 524. On the weeklies, I mean, you're talking 2-3 times more volume just in a weekly sense. It was a lot more volume, but then if you look at this, we had one candle here basically that competed. In here, nothing. So the point is the volume needs to pick up a lot. The volume needs to pick up a lot, but if we break down below the rising channel support right here at June of 2022, which is under the descending triangle, the short term, That's like 442 when you get there. That firmly would, whoops, that would firmly bring us down to the uptrending support from 2020. If you break this is when it gets, okay, well now we're heading towards 25 cents, but ideally those shorter time frames are just a stopping measure to get here. Unless you were to break this resistance up here and then make a push, and you have to keep updating this. And I always do this for the audience. That's if it breaks out. That's where all the FUDsters tell you, hey, it's going up here tomorrow. So they'll tell you, hey, it can break out. Yes, it can. With how much pressure there's built up, if XRP was ever to break out of this descending formation from 2017, the resistance, or the uptrend that can go all the way back to the bottom is at 2013, there's a lot of built up pressure. If you just stay into this first gap and then you have a breakout, even from here, if it happens in May, you can get up to $1.97. Now, everybody gets excited about that, but you have to get past there first. Do you know how long it's been past you since you pushed that downtrending resistance line and got over it? Well, everybody gets excited, but the fact is it hasn't happened since January of 2018. That's why I call it the accumulation phase. Everybody says, oh, it's just going to buy it today at 50 cents, and in 2 weeks it's going to be at $17,000. Yeah, well, that's never going to happen with the circulating supply of 54 billion. XRP circulating supply, right? 54 billion plus tokens right now. XRP's market cap is under 30 billion. Where's it at right now? 27.3 billion. Do you realize this market cap, if you had a $1,000 XRP, would have to be 5.3 quadrillion? Good luck with that when we're not even at 30 billion, so we have to keep it in perspective. I bought XRP at 34 cents, and I'm looking for, if I can buy more, if it goes cheaper, so be it. But I'm not looking for 17,000 or 1,700. I'm looking for that first move to all-time highs at $3.50 or 60 cents, and then I can probably dump the whole thing, and then I know we're going to get at least a 50% retracement. It will, probably more. Remember, you've had people in this since 2017 that have not been made whole. That's why when everybody says the bull run, that's all bullshit. In 2021, it never happened. It was a bear market rally at best. There's no way it can be a bull market. Sure, crypto had a bull market, but XRP didn't. It was still 50% below all-time highs. That means some people were still 50% down at the supposed top of a bull market. That's impossible. No bull market ever was a bull market by keeping people half full. That'd be like saying you filled a full tank of gas, but you filled it halfway and then it ran out of gas. And like, well, what the hell happened? I put a full tank. No, you put a half tank in and you put a piece of paper in front of it that said full. It doesn't matter. That's not the case. So that liquidity is going to come one way or the other. It's just you got to get back up there. If you've held since 2017, they're not dumping at $1.50 or $2.50. People are stubborn. They will take every penny, and they will not dollar cost average into this now. And I hate the word dollar cost average unless you got stuck and hosed at $3.50. Then today, when it's at 49 cents, you can buy in. Let's say you bought $3,000 at, God forbid, $3,000 at $3.50. You buy another $3,000 at 49 cents. Okay, well, now your average is cut in the middle. Well, now if it goes to 20 cents and you do it, now you're talking. You don't even need to do it again because now you don't even have to go until it gets to halfway with where you were going to go. And then if you're stubborn enough to hold the all-time highs, now you doubled your money instead of just being even. But if you're investing in something, you got to know what you're investing in. Like crypto is not it's an investment, but only in the terms of you're trying to convert it for real money. Like currency's bullshit. The US dollar, we all know it's horseshit. Excuse my French. But it is. So the US dollar can't be used past other borders. It makes it a currency. Gold, silver, where I can take it anywhere is money. Some people will make the argument, well, in the end of the world scenario, what does it matter? My crypto won't matter anyhow. I can't log on to power. We have no power. So what good is it? So in the end of world scenario, it's all useless unless you have skills. But in a real world scenario where the power is not out and we actually are in our own borders or we have to go somewhere else, gold, silver, you can go across borders, makes it money. You can use it anywhere. I can take my gold, convert it into the US dollar, convert it into the CAD, convert it into the Chinese yuan, and blah, 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 all the way down the chain. But with crypto, you can do the same thing. You can sell it, convert it into whatever you want, your native currency. But that's why I consider it a money. I believe it's a mano a mano with gold and silver just because you can use it as money. But gold and silver is a true store of value. That's why I put all my profits into it with crypto. I don't like to put it back into the crypto. If I was going to keep it in crypto for the profits just to re-siphon it, I don't see the point of it. I need to store that value and then restart with what I had. And then you build it back up and then you built the savings over the years. That's what happened to me. And it just kind of got out of control with how that happened. But with XRP, there's a lot of people that the whole point of this is there's a lot of people that have been kind of pushed down here since 2017. It's that simple. A lot of people have given up. You guys have seen the comments, especially over the past few weeks. You can see when I put videos out in the morning, especially, I've given up on XRP. XRP's junk, this pile of shit. All the YouTubers are all dumbass. You know, it's all, I hear the same thing day after day, month after month, week after week, year after year. It seems like. But 77 people still found their way here today. See, I find that remarkable with the fact that it's all red. It's all red. To see, it used to be we used to peak at 77 viewers when I was on a live. Now this is like the worst we will do in the barest of times. You know, and it makes it funner that way because then when I see 200 people in here, 300 people in here, when it's XRP's going up, it's like, all right, well, I can see the ones who really wanted to be here and the ones who are just here for the big run up. The ones who will just buy it when it gets up over elevated. You don't want to be in that position. You want to be watching this when it's down. These are my favorite times. Some people say I'm the only person who shows up when something's going down. It's because I'm my happiest. Yes, I'm accumulating, but I never heard of anybody who wants to accumulate on the way up. I didn't sell at $1.66 so I could get beaten over the railing with a lead pipe. If I wanted to do that, I would have just held. If I thought the whole buy and hold game was a good thing, I would have done that since 21. I wouldn't even have sold. But start to learn a few things, especially with that capital gains tax. That's why I like to hold it for over a year. If I'm going to pay the government, I'd rather pay them 15% instead of 35%. Some people say they're not going to pay it. Well, good luck with that. I've said it time and time again. If Peter Schiff's dad, Irwin, couldn't get away with not paying his taxes, I'm sure as hell not smart enough to do that. It's above my pay grade, so I'm not going to sit behind the prison, a cell, because I wanted to prove I didn't have to pay my taxes, and it's unconstitutional, whether it is or not. If you want to, by all means, you can take a chance on your freedom, but I'm not. So, I don't know, consider all this. Consider all this. I'm holding XRP until it becomes the currency, or until it becomes money. So basically, and I can already do it in some senses, but I want to be able to go, hey, I want to go to a hotel, right? I'm going to go with Julie to a hotel. We're going to go to the casino. We want to stay at the hotel. So I just use my XRP. I got 13,000 XRP. I say, you know what? XRP's at $1. Nah, forget that. Everybody say $1. Oh my God, your hair. See, you haven't sold. See everybody how long it's getting? So yeah, it hasn't been to $1 in a while. Ha ha ha. Funny joke. I get it. I haven't cut my hair since July. Remember, that's the bet. So 50 cents XRP's at. So you're like, you know what? I'm gonna stay 3 nights at this hotel. It's $200 a night. It's the casino. $300 a night, 2 nights. That's the bad economy. $600. And you're like, I got to spend $600. I got my XRP. And this is when it's money. It's gonna be worth more than 50 cents at this point. But I'm just saying in today's scenario. So you sell it, and it just, hey, I'm using my XRP. And then you can rebuy it, do whatever you want to do or whatever. But I always have XRP that I would have for the scenario of I'm using that as my form of payment. Whether you want to pay yourself back after or not, when you get paid, that's up to you how you're going to do it, like when you pay a credit card off. But the point is that's what I want my crypto to be used for in the future. We're going to a digital system. That's why I always say with the smart housing, we know the 3 mile or the 90-minute cities where it's going to be 3 miles. We all know this. So I'm betting against the betting for the technology. It's no different than the .com bubble when you had IBM and you had Dell and you had Apple and you had all these ones, the NVIDIA, especially NVIDIA. What's the other one was NVIDIA's competitor? They still are. Adobe. But you have all these things that started way back then and they just boomed. And then they busted, but now some of them are still around. But the ones who got in front of that before that technology started, but really take off, were the ones that, so basically it's like, hey, XRP's in the cents. Well, even if it only gets to $5 or $10, wouldn't you rather be dealing with it in the cents and then being like, oh, I sold it at 7, I sold it at 10, I sold it at 15. Who knows if it goes to 50? Or hey, we bought Solo at, what the hell was Solo at? 9 cents. And now, because of its circulating supply only being 500 million compared to XRP's 99.9 billion maximum circulating supply, well, now, Solo's gone up to fucking $30 or $50. But you bought it at 9 cents. Or like how we bought DGB after selling it in 2021. For anybody who was here, all 1,500 of the viewers, now it's over 20,000. So I understand. A very small percentage was here. I get that. Like 7.5% if you're actually doing the math. Of my audience was around. That's here now. So not very much. But we had DGB from 5 cents to 15, 16 cents. Sold it. And I said I was buying it under a cent when I bought it back. And I got laughed out the building. And I love it to this day because I bought it back at 0.005 or 0.048 was the first. And it's like when you see that I sold 10,000 and I got to buy back 78,000 for 1/10 of what 10,000 cost me before. And now it's starting to rise. And then eventually it'll get to where it's going. Everybody's going to see. We're looking at the fragments right now, the fractions. Nobody wants to buy the fractions. For some reason, nobody will buy XRP at 50 cents. But remember this day, they'll buy it at $4 because they're afraid of missing out. Well, you should be buying it here if you're afraid of missing out. Not at $3. Everybody begged me to buy it at $1.75 when I sold it at $1. Oh my God, you're an idiot. Buy it at $1.20. Buy it at $1. Buy it at 70. Buy it at... I've heard it all. Heard it all, folks. I think you've all heard it too, and I think there's just too much manipulation. So, gotta turn it off. There's no surprise what's going on with XRP. We knew when it ran back up to 532, the likelihood of it going up from one shot to 57 cents was slim. We figured if it went up to 534, the chances of 44 cents were probably greater. We would have hoped for 54, then or 57, then 44 for that added drop pressure so that we don't just hold here at 494. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. The only other thing I really want to see while I'm on here, and I'm not ready to go yet, but it's been 42 minutes. Wow. And Dad, if you're still here, I thought, don't you have to go out of town? I thought you're going, or are you already out of town? I thought for some reason, I thought it was today you were leaving to go to Texas. What do I know? Like I always say, I'm not a financial advisor. That's a little bit above my pay grade. But, oh, you're in Texas right now. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So you're probably a little bit tired. I'm glad you're watching, Dad, all the way from Texas. Yeah, Texas. Hot as hell down there. I went there in 2022 and it was hot. Let's see what's going on with XRP. So XRP news, Ripple retargets U.S. markets as the SEC versus Ripple case progresses. Yep. We all know all that's FUD. We can't do anything until April, mid-April, when they actually go to jury trial, or at least they can try to go outside of it and come to a settlement, which I keep saying, you don't want a settlement. You've got the XRP ledger, you've got Flare, Solo, you've got Corium, anything adapted or associated with the ledger, which we have to talk about Flare still, which we bought at 0.085, as you guys know, who bought it with me on FOMO Fridays and Winning Wednesdays several months ago. And now that's up. I mean, it's up over 3 cents. And it's not that it's going to stay up there. We're going to have a hefty retracement. But now as it retraces, you've got that opportunity to do what you're going to do with that. I always tell everybody, I'm not a financial advisor, so you got to make your own damn decision. But, I can guide you along with the charts and actually the news as well. But as far as the lawsuit goes, everything you hear until April is BS. Nothing's happening. It's already in the documents. I've read it out to you. There was like 57 pages we went through one day. It was mind-numbing, but we did it back in the late summer, early spring. But, so I'm going to go into Ripple real quick just to see one thing. Because I want to see if a few things have come into pass here, which I don't think they have. Ooh. Ripple to expand U.S. payments after being relatively quiet. Ripple Senior Director and Head of Product Marketing W. Oliver Segovia revealed on social media that the firm intends to grow its payment services across the U.S. Segovia acknowledged on LinkedIn that while 90% of Ripple's business operations are conducted outside the U.S., the company is poised to make waves with the announcement of upcoming product updates. Driven by its money transmitter licenses, MTLs. The MTLs will now extend in the majority of U.S. states Has anybody heard about this? Out of curiosity, I know there's still a few people. Every time I go outside the charts, people start leaving. I know, and I know you guys know when I get to the charts that we're almost done with the live. So some people are like, "Oh, we're done. It's time to go." I already got my information, which is fine. Just make sure you hit a like on the way out. And if you're looking to trade crypto, leverage trading or spot trading, I get the questions all the time. Just look in the video description below. It's the way I do it so that you can avoid spot fees. At least the higher spot fees, and then leverage trading, obviously you have fees, but these are for us in the USA, it's simply the best way to do it. To kick off this phase, Ripple will be organizing a fintech meetup at its newly inaugurated San Francisco headquarters. The event will feature an engaging panel discussion on Ripple's blockchain and payments outlook of 2024, led by heads of product Brendan Berry and Pigal Sultani, and moderated by U.S. Managing Director Joni Exie. Ripple Chief Technology Officer David Schwartz is also expecting to join the discussion. Following the panel, attendees will have the opportunity to network with professionals from Aiden Marquita, Played, and more during a casual happy hour. The event is scheduled for Wednesday, February 7th, starting at 5 p.m. at Ripple's new headquarters, located at 600 Battery Street. Registration. Hey, we'll have to pay attention to that on February 7th. That's 3 days from now, so Monday, Tuesday. So Wednesday. So the audience, if you remember, or if you remind me, I'll remember, but remind me. I'm one of the lives in the next couple days, as I'm on every night, so for the lives. Those interested, blah, 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 blah. So asset managers gear up for XRP ETF launch. See, this is the other part of the FUD. Do we really think this is even possible until Ethereum gets passed? I think it's very unlikely that until Ethereum would get this, that it's actually going to happen. But this keeps being mentioned a little bit here. So where there's smoke, there's fire sometimes. So U.S.-based asset manager firms, including major players like BlackRock and Grayscale, are set to submit applications for Ripple XRP exchange-traded fund ETF with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission SEC in April. So listen, April is when we can get a resolution to this case, finally. And the fact that they're going to do this in April, is that a little bit of something there, or is that something of nothing? Is it something of nothing or something of something? Kind of think it's something of something, possibly leading to a launch by the end of 2024. This decision follows a U.S. District Judge's ruling declaring XRP as not a security. Okay, again, it was not a security when it comes to programmatable sales and being sold to retail investors, like on an exchange. But institutional investors, it was still technically ruled. You know, that's where we're going to the old court now here in April. So it wasn't a clear cut. It's not a security. Otherwise, it would have blown up already to the top side. But institutions make up the majority of the capital here. So whether we want to act like we own any of it or not, it's a very minute portion of this. So we don't really make up much. You need the institutional investors, big banks, big business. Just the big money pocket, you know, the big pockets. This decision follows a U.S. judge, blah, 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 blah. Creating excitement and speculation, we already know. BlackRock, a global asset manager overseeing over $8.5 trillion in assets, is anticipated to play a crucial role in the XRP ETF launch. The anticipation is heightened by ongoing legal developments and regulatory uncertainties still surrounding XRP. Sean Crothers, I seen you in the audience as well, my main man from Maine. Hopefully you're doing well out there. Sean's been around since... I don't even know how many subscribers. 1/10 of what we have now, if not less than 1/10. The potential introduction of XRP ETF holds broader implications for the cryptocurrency market, increasing XRP accessibility, yada, yada, yada. Who gives a rat's ass until we get there? Because right now it's all speculation. Other than that, is there anything else? Oh, yeah, Flare. Flare's down 4.35% right now. It's up to about 3.0 cents. This is my own personal marker. If it was to hold, likely it would have had to hold that first layer. I mean, I can start drawing this out and putting the uptrend, but we all know the formation it was in for a very long time. It was in an ascending triangle formation. Obviously, it was important because, and I'll put it back up so everybody can see what it avoided, at least momentarily, when it made the uptrend. We avoided a pretty significant, what could have been a nice bear flag here. If it would have broke down, that's a beautiful bear flag that was playing out here. Let me put this back so you guys can kind of see. But it was playing back as some I think I like it like it was some kind of a bear flag that was trying to play out here, but it broke to the top side, moved into an ascending fashion. We played the resistance out, and then it just broke out nicely. But now you got like two tiers. You can either hold this, which I'm telling you right now, that's a long leg doji right there. That's a reversal pattern. So if you get a long leg doji when you're on an up, it's signaling we're topping out here. That doesn't mean that the next candle can't invalidate that, but there's two things that are looking very bearish here on this push up now with flare. I know anybody who's been watching me for any length of time, if you're still here after that, the rest in here and I'm leaving and yada yada yada. Two things that are bad. Crashing volume, rising price, that's a bearish reversal. That's a bearish reversal. When you have price rise, volume crashing, that's a bearish reversal, and it's telling you in the just volume crashing, so volume rising or price rise, volume crashing, that's a recipe for disaster. Volume rising, price rising, that's a continuation signal. Price rising or volume crashing, that's also a bullish reversal. Volume rising, price crashing as the volume continues to rise. That's an indication of a bearish continuation. But right now, this long leg doji and the fact that this is a bearish reversal in the making. This is a bearish reversal in the making. And unfortunately, the moment you get rejected around this 305 level, you're going to have a hell of a short opportunity here. And if I was brave enough, I would do it. But from 304, you could have something like a 22.5. I mean, think about that. 22%. Now, the problem is you do a 10x trade, and then it gets overzealous, right? It gets overzealous and somehow it pushes out of here, and it comes up to like, let's just say 3.7. And I know everybody who's watching me has seen this many times. It's overextended, comes out, retests, and then somehow, and then we're like, well, what the hell? So that was just the left arm, and out built the head. What's going on here? Or it'll do something like this, and then you're like, well, what the? And then you're like, well, now I'm screwed. And now you took a nice short out to go here, but instead it went, and then you're like, well, just lost all my money. Happens all the time. Then it liquidates the shorts and the longs. How often do you put in a leverage trade and you're like, well, you know what? I'm doing a 10x trade. I'll put my stop loss 2.8% down because it's 28% on $1,000. It's $280 just for it to come, 3.1% down, wipe your entire stop loss, and then go right back up 6.2% right after, and you would have been up 600 instead of losing 3 for a $900 swing in like 3 hours. Again, it happens all the time. They sweep the leverage traders because most people are not willing to put up if they have $1,000. They're not willing to keep it open and say, you know what? I bought it at 50 cents. My liquidation price is 44. The hell with what happens in between. Most people say I bought it at 50. It comes down to 494. It breaks it. I'm out. The smart guy says, well, I already know it's not coming through 44. Well, you're still on the cusp. You'd really want that to be down to 42 if you're going to have a liquidation style, just in case there's a wick coming through 44 cents. We see it all the time. But, that's just me speculating now, just what could happen. So that's basically it. Flare, that's what I see. I probably shouldn't tell everybody I'm leaving. I know people come, but then I say I'm leaving, so they just leave. But, it's a beautiful time. I had a nice time tonight. I thank everybody for the donations. I thank everybody in Tom's Army. I see we've got members from 1 month all the way to, believe it or not, 33 months now. We've got people that have been part of Tom's Army paying the $9.99 a month for 33 months now. So at 36, I'll be able to do another emoji badge, which will be cool. I don't think anything will be able to top the I told you so at the 1 year. And then at 24 months, the 589 badge, the 58.9 cents where it has the moon, and it shows XRP at 58 or 589 because everybody thought it was going to be $589 at the end of 23. And I said, no, 58.9 cents. And I lined it up from 22 to 23. That was some oversight to have it laid out like that. So it's cool to see this play out in front of everybody. Like, I could go through everything. There's so much stuff, but honestly, I'm pretty talked out. DGB's down 0.27%. It's my baby. That's in the Internet of Things. It's at 00732 right now. I think it looks fantastic. Mike, thank you for being in Tom's Army as well. And then month 1 right now. That's me being abducted by aliens. Oh, yes. Someone I met through social media, Amber, made that for me. So that was cool. That's my thank you to her by making that my month 1 badge. She made that for me well before I started this show. So I think it's pretty cool that made it through. But yeah, I have seen the cup and handle on algo. The great falling away. The daily chart on algo, not sure if it went over this already. I have not gone over algo. But yeah, that's algo. I thought was so undervalued when it came down. We bought it as a community where I circled it. We bought it in here, under 10 cents. We bought it on FOMO Fridays. I did not quite get my 10,000 tokens. I got 7,800 plus at under 10 cents. I would have liked to have got a few more, but we knew once it broke this structure, we weren't buying because it was going to be a quick run up. And now, let me get rid of this. This, I don't want to have this whole thing here because it's just going to confuse everybody. So, yeah, I mean, this definitely looks like, I know it should go up here, and it could go up here. I think it's going to have a little more correction. I actually thought it would come down somewhere around here again. That was the technical drop. And then it went up to the 200 first. So, I mean, some people would say, well, Tom, I mean, I know. But we technically thought it could come back down a little bit. But yeah, I definitely see it. If you look at this in a logical sense here, if we're starting around the bottom as well, you know, you could say, well, we're starting to, well, that's not even right. If we look at it in the daily, it's even clearer, I think. You could be starting something here. But if you go farther back here, though, like how far back are you talking? Are you talking about the substantial cup and handle, or are you talking about the short term? Because I could even see a swinging around now. And if we could hold this, you have two tiers here. Like you have the first tier, and then if it can break it, you've got a second tier as well. I mean, it's been a long drawn out formation here. And it's why I thought it was so undervalued. I mean, the only reason it even went down like it did is because it got dragged in the mud like XRP. The Securities and Exchange Commission said, oh, we're going after it just like XRP, basically. That's why XRP cannot afford to settle unless that's their game, and they're going to be the only one with clarity going forward, which, like I said, there's a lot of things on the XRP ledger, so it doesn't quite make sense to just go that route. I'm trying to see something. I apologize. Hold on, everybody. I figure while I have your attention, most people are gone anyhow. They care about XRP. We'll get some value here. I gotta get this out of the daily to look at it like this. I need to see this. I'm a very big proponent of finding that resistance. So, in order for us to fulfill this, we're gonna have to get outside of this somehow. Like, we're going to have to get outside of what it looks like it's start. No. It's either that or, see, it's so tricky with these. And some people are like, oh, it's because I need to see both resistance. It's either this or this. I think this makes more sense. So basically, that's what you're looking at in those tiers of resistance. And some people will do technical indicators and they'll do the fan system. Just do it yourself. Don't pay somebody for the fan. You know, that's why I do this free every day. Yes, I get very generous donations. I have people in Tom's Army that help fund the program. But I don't do paid promotions, advertisements, or sponsorships for a reason, because I want everybody to have a chance to, you know, to be able to get ahead. I used to ask people these questions when I was broke and I didn't know what I was doing because I was trying to figure it out in life. And they tell me to buy their programs. And it's like, listen, asshole, I can't even afford to put gas in my car. You want me to buy this program? I mean, seriously. So, you know, if you're starting from the bottom, the best way to do it is to have the information out in front of you. So I basically give everybody a chance. You have a fighting chance. And it's the good faith, the goodwill, the pay it forward mentality that helps fund what I do. That simple. But, yeah, so that's what I'm looking at for algo. But I could certainly see two tiers here, great falling. Get up here. This would be a nice point around 18.8. If you get over that, at some point, we knew we were going to have to reverse some. And yeah, we reversed a little bit. But if you're asking me, great falling, between me and you, and I know you're good on the charts, and I know you're a good leverage trader as well, does this not look like possibly the start of a inverse head? And maybe arm. A head that swings back around. Maybe this is how it would create it, and then boom. I see an inverse head and shoulders in the making. I think I see an inverse left arm. So an inverse left shoulder, the inverse head starting. So ba-boom, ba-boom, back up maybe to ba-boom, and then out. I don't know. I see something. I see something in the development here. Back to February. Okay, you're going all the way. You're taking it all the way. Okay. I was just showing the shorter time frame, but you're going to come all the way back. You're taking the long one. Okay. Well, if you're taking the long formation, this would be, again, this is the exact same thing. So it plays out. That's why I target this area, though. This is that first layer. You're going to have to get above here and here. Get above here, and then you can start breaking out. That's what we have to do. And then if it gets above here, then you can play the grand scale. But it's got some work to do. But yeah, it absolutely looks like that's part of the formation. And if you're looking at it like that, boom, inverse left shoulder, inverse head, inverse right shoulder. So you've got the inverted head and shoulders forming right now. So I think so. I think that inverse pattern is there as well. I don't know, call me crazy, but it looks like it's there. And if we get a retracement down to around 16 cents approximately, which we're at, we're within that plus minus right now, aren't we, my friend? So any bit of a retracement here, as long as you hold, in my estimation, somewhere around there at 14 cents, you got a chance here for a big reversal. And it's already been in the making. So I agree with you, yes. That's a very wide cup and handle going back to February of 23, I believe that was. So, excellent eye. Excellent eye. So, have a blessed one, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. Gotta go. Stay